right. Let's get this party. Let's get this party started. It's gonna be some very, very heavy stuff. And it really doesn't fit here. It doesn't fit on this app right here. On this app is truly just ignorance. You know, it's actually crazy the amount of ignorant people here. So, you know, I understand that this is not the right place for this kind of information. But we're gonna put it out there anyway, temporarily. All right? Because most of you here, you treat this like a game. You know, you really don't care about it. It's like a game to you. You know, but we treat it like a game too, but we think of this game differently. Okay, we take this game seriously. Unlike you, or most of you people on this. Anybody who's got Forex King, you know, obviously that's all included. I'm talking about all these ignorant people on this platform. Okay, it's truly, it's crazy the amount of ignorance, but, you know, we're going to lay it all to rest right now. We're going to see who's the Forex King. That's funny, man. That's real funny, but we're going to get down to business. We don't really have much time. So let's just get started. Now, what I'm going to tell you here is just what works. I'm going to keep this simple for you guys. This is just what works and what works today. Magically, you know, this has been working for a long time, hundreds of years, but, you know, probably you guys won't believe that, but this is how it all works, okay? We're going to keep it simple. So all of us are traders. What the hell is this trading thing? Most of you found out about this thing from a marketing guru. Okay, we're going to get to those later. But what is trading? You just trade one thing for the other. Okay, we're going to keep that simple. So everybody's a trader. You trade your time for some money, you're a trader. You trade potatoes for tomatoes, you're a trader. Okay, we're all traders. Whether you accept that or not is really another story. We ain't getting into that. But what is this whole market basically consist of? Okay, any market. It's just buyers and sellers, buying and selling. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Most of the buyers are pretty much insignificant. Okay, whatever they do, we really don't care. But a few of them, all right, they do all the buying. And a few sellers do all the selling. So a few of them, we got to worry about them, okay? But I don't want to say worry. I'm going to say we need to focus on this few to really dominate in this thing, okay? Just worry about this few right here. The few buyers who do all the buying and the few sellers who do all the selling. We're going to keep it real simple for you guys, okay? And, you know, we don't ask for too much respect, just a little. But maybe, you know, you'll change your mind after this one. So there's just some rules and terms that, you know, we got to get these out of the way first, okay? If you call yourself a Forex King and you don't know what the hell is on this page right here, you're pretty much an idiot to me, okay? But we're not going to get into that. You know, maybe you guys will humble down, maybe, okay? Because you got to humble down to get that benefit first. But, you know, on this app, I really doubt it. That's not the kind of people lurking around here, okay? People lurking here, they have no responsibility, you know, on their actions or their words. You know, that's how it is here. It's a free-for-all. But, you know, clearly these idiots don't read what I post. But I'm going to go through these terms because these are ABCs right here. BFI, if you haven't figured that out yet, it's banks and financial institutions who actually run this game. Okay, over 90% of the volume. I hope this is not new to most of you. Okay, they own the game and they move the price. It's them. It's the BFIs that move the price. You know, Merry Christmas if you just found that out. Now, only a few of these BFIs move the price. actually over half of all the volume is just moved by four addresses. Okay, we're not going to get into that, but you know, the top 10 do pretty much everything. All right, they own it. It's their game, and it's not a level playing field if you're that silly enough to believe that. Okay, and they move the price to the certain areas that they want. Okay, get that through your head first, and then we have OFV, order flow volume. This is the water that's flowing through the system. Okay, this is nothing but orders, buy orders, sell orders. Doesn't really matter. Okay, but it's all orders, and the more the orders, the more the volume. Okay, and these orders are constantly flowing around. Okay, they go from one area to another. It's a flow. OFV, okay, it's a flow of orders of buys and sells. We haven't even got into the basics yet, but you should already know that. Here's a few more rules for you guys. Okay, just get this through your head. These are rules, okay? These are facts and rules, and just believe them and you're better off, okay? But we're gonna assume that BFIs are smart. Okay, they're actually very smart. And they're not emotional like you, okay? And here's the thing that, you know, might really hurt a lot of you guys, okay? It's the BFIs, they don't lose. They never lose. If they do something stupid and they get wiped out, they get bailed out, okay? I'm just giving you these rules. You can believe them, you can't. It really doesn't matter to me. But they're smart and they never lose, okay? And most importantly, they always, keyword always, they always buy low and sell high. Keyword here, always. I didn't say sometimes, okay? I tell you always. If they run the game, they always get what they want. Get that through your head. Now, let's look at the other side of this whole game, which is pretty much most of you kids on here. Retail. Retail is dumb, okay? And they're emotional. This is just the facts. I'm sorry to break it to you, but these are just the facts of the reality of this situation. And most of them lose. Over 90% of them lose. They end up losing, and they just can't make money consistently, okay? You know, this is just the reality. It's not the way I want it, but this is how it is. And here's another thing. They pretty much always, okay, I would put some of the time, but for some reason they tend to buy high and sell low, okay? High is just expensive, okay, at supply maybe, and low is just cheap, okay, very cheap. Okay, this is nothing but buying for something for low and selling high, just trying to get a good deal out of this market. That's the whole game. We're trying to get a good deal out of the market. And whose side do you want to be on? Do you want to buy low or do you want to buy high? Okay, but this is the reality of it. This is just what people do, and I'm gonna prove it to you within the next 60 minutes. Okay. Why is all this true? Blame nature, don't ask me, okay? Second point, how did this market move? How did this price move? I always talk about price. What do I mean by price? Well, the markets move, it's quite simply actually, but to understand it all, it's not easy, but it moves quite simply, and it's not randomly and it's not by accident. If anybody who thinks this is all random and by accident, you're pretty stupid, honestly. Okay, this is with purpose and it moves by design. Okay, with intention it moves to get to a certain spot. Okay, there is nothing random or accident in the markets. All right, but where does it move from? It moves from different areas. Okay, from an area with heavy supply to areas of heavy demand, or areas of heavy demand to areas of heavy supply, okay? But they always move around to these areas, and the price is the one that pulls them all there, okay? And if you can consider an internal struggle always between the supply and demand trying to pull to different areas, okay? Even an idiot on Instagram could understand so far what, I'm saying. You don't need to put FX King in your name or anything, or .fx. to be a guru. You know, you can just pay attention here pretty much. Now there's two ways that the movements can play out. Okay, either price can keep going or it could bust a U-turn. In other words, it could continue or it could reverse. Okay, that's the only, I wish it could do something else. Okay, it could do a little sideways. This is actually a whole topic we're gonna get into, but it's either it's gonna keep going or it'll bust a U-turn. Assuming that it already went sideways for a little. Okay, you're gonna notice all these moves happen after a period of sideways. We're gonna get into the box. We call it the box. Okay, so we got these two scenarios for each. I'm not gonna read any of that garbage. Like I said, after this, I'm deleting it all this, but I'm gonna save this for 24 hours. And whoever watches it. You can benefit. You can learn a lot if you just go through this. You know, I wish I went through this many years ago. You know, instead of going through all that garbage that I had to go through, you know, to get to this point. But maybe I can save the route for you guys. But you guys want twerk videos and some other bullshit. All right. But the two ways the market moves, it's either, like we said, it continues or it reverses. Okay. But let's look at if it continues. There's only two ways if it continues, and there's only two ways if it reverses. If it continues, it'll just go up and then create a base as always, and it'll just go up again. Okay, call it an up base up if you have to. Very simple. And if it wants to continue down, it'll go down and then create the base that we talk about, and then it'll go down again. Okay, down base down. It doesn't take a genius to remember that. Okay, but that's how the market moves if it wants to keep going. Let's say it doesn't want to keep going. U-turn. Two ways that it can do that. The only two, okay? It'll either go up, create a base and come down, or it'll go down, create a base and come up, okay? The only ways that it could reverse, right? Two reversals, two continuations. You probably learned that in their ABCs. You should have. But this is all we care about, and forget everything else. Now, what do I mean by a base? Call it a box if you want, okay? The base, the box, the consolidation, the sideways action, the reloading, I call it, the pausing, the ranging. You think I care what you call it, man? Okay, or woman, if you're watching this. Hopefully many people watch this long into the future. Okay, but does it matter what you call this box? We're gonna call it the box. Okay, but in this box, as you can see here, it's a slaughterhouse. But we need to be interested in this slaughterhouse. We really need to be interested in this box, okay? Because if you read in blue what it says, OFV, order stacking, heavy volume. What does heavy volume mean? Who moves the majority of the volume in the markets, okay? You don't need a degree to know that it's the big boys. It's the BFIs, okay? They're working hard. That's all you have to know. But unfortunately, this is the slaughterhouse. Most retail are wiped here. Usually the move is up or the move is down, you know, it's going, but when it's in a box, that's where most people get wiped out, you know. Up is clearly up, down is clearly down, but once you're really not sure, and it's kind of in a box like this, usually before the move, this is where the things get stacked up. Now, if this is new to you, you know, you have to rethink your whole entire perspective of things, of the whole market. If you're too glued to an indicator, you know, that pretty much is reading the price action itself and giving it to you in a nice shape to tell you, okay, it's all calculated from the price. Okay, so this price range that we have here inside this box, heavy volume being around here, okay? Don't think that heavy volume is in these huge candles, which it's not. It's actually little volume. We'll get into that later, hopefully. Let's keep going. We got this slaughterhouse, right? We got to study this box. This is the whole game in this box. The whole game is right here in this box. Okay, because who's buying here? Aren't the big boys doing buying, selling, whatever it is? Aren't they stacking up? Aren't they transacting huge volume? So obviously they're interested. All right. But for some reason it's the slaughterhouse for the retail. We'll get into that. Now this brings up the whole idea of manipulation. Hopefully we can get through this whole thing. Now, here's the reality, the manipulation. Well, most people, anything they don't like, they call it manipulation. I'm not talking about that kind of manipulation. I'm talking about orderly, predictive, on a regular basis type of manipulation. Okay, this is standard operating procedure. And it occurs inside this box, or at the box, or above the box, or below the box, okay, which we're going to see here. Now that we know that this whole idea of manipulation happens at this box, okay, let's study this box. What do you think you have in a period of consolidation? Okay, you have people, buyers here, obviously. So you have buyers here and sellers, obviously. Okay, now the sellers will be selling up here, and maybe they're in profit in the middle. The buyers are down here, they bought, and maybe they're in profit in the middle, right? Now, for all these sellers up here, this is going to get a little heavy on you guys. Okay, but this is literally the basics. All the sellers up here who are selling, this is where their stop losses are. Okay, in that red box. Now, what is a stop loss of a seller? Stop loss of sellers is a buy order. Okay, who do we have here on the bottom? Obviously, there's people buying here, and it's in the middle, they're in profit. But the buyers, this is where they have their stop loss. Okay, so what's the stop loss of a buyer? It's simply a sell order to get them out. What's a stop loss of a seller? It's just a buy order. Okay, hopefully this is not new to you guys. This is what I mean when you got Forex King in your bio and you don't know any of this stuff. You should be absolutely embarrassed of yourself. Okay, but the stop loss of the sellers is nothing but a buy order. Okay, so if price goes there, they buy it back, what they sold, and they're closed out. But these are, all you need to know is this whole idea of order flow. When I said in the beginning, OFV, okay, BFI and OFV, if you can figure that out, you got the majority of it figured out. Okay, but we have a bunch of buy orders here, or stop losses of sellers, and we have a bunch of sell orders down here, stop losses of buyers. Okay, and this is the box. This is the scenario of a box, usually. Okay, you got to remember that so we can see what happens to all this that's going around at the box and around the box. Okay, but this whole game is, you're playing it at the box. What's the box? It's just the base. It's the slaughterhouse. It's the base here and the base here, and pretty much the base, any kind of base continuation, like I said, reloading, consolidation, sideways, pausing, ranging, I don't care what you call it. Okay, so this is the scenario there. Okay, but let's actually look into the manipulation. Remember, the volume of orders here in this box is the highest. We have huge amount of volume being transferred, huge orders of buys and sells. Which is more, buy or sell? That's another story. But it's not during the huge candles. It's actually in the middle of this box where the volume is being piled up. Heavy stacking of orders. Okay, Let's keep going. Let's get something in your head. Let's get it in your head from now. The banks are always smart. Okay? They always buy low and sell high. Okay? Let's just take it for a fact that they're smart. Let's assume that they're smart. Okay? Maybe you hate them or maybe you don't understand them, but take this as a fact that they're smart. Okay? What do you think a smart technique would be to go through this whole box but end up in a great position? Okay? Let's look at the manipulation move for a down move. Okay? This is how a down move would be manipulated. Let's say there's a box there. Okay? Price will leave that box from the top, and like we said, that's the stop loss of sellers, which are buy orders. So as soon as their stop losses are hit, there's a bunch of buy orders in the market and price shoots out of the box temporarily. Okay, what does that do? That raises the price, obviously, right? It makes it more expensive. Who sells high? Always, it's the banks. Guess who's selling here at this high price? Your BFI buddies. Okay, just take my word for it. They're smart. Now let's look at a manipulation for an up move. Okay, it'll get pushed down, and this is where all the stop loss of the buyers will be triggered. What's a stop loss of a buyer? It's just a sell order. Okay, and then you see some selling action occur here as it exits the box. Okay, and that price gets dropped. You notice price gets dropped and it's cheaper, isn't it? Wouldn't you want to be buying there? And this is what the banks do. Okay, and this is what the retail do. They sell low. But who's buying here when the price drops cheaper? Like I said, they're smart. Okay, take that for a fact. They're smart, and as soon as price goes down and this happens, they'd be buying at the cheap price. Okay, well, all you kids are selling, obviously, because you guys always lose. So whatever you do, obviously the opposite is the right thing. This is how the whole game works. You know, this red move here is very interesting. Okay, which is a fake move, which is the move that kills most of you kids. Okay, especially Mr. Forex King. I'm sure this one killed you multiple times. But when we have this down move at a box and it goes outside, this is what this down move looks like. It looks like a downtrend, doesn't it? And obviously you kids are programmed in your brain with all your textbooks and courses to sell it's a downtrend. Okay, in the little micro small here, you know, it's a downtrend. And obviously you guys are emotional. You know, usually if you bought, you know, you'd still sell to get out. And you guys are selling thinking you're going to make a killing because it's a downtrend. Okay, but this is how you guys are wired. Look at the same up move for the manipulation of a down move. This is assuming price is going to go down. This is assuming that the BFI buddies want the price to go down. This is assuming that the BFI buddies want the price to go up. It'll always go down before it goes up. It'll always go up before it goes down. They're smart, like I said, just take that for a fact. Let's look at this red move here. And this is how it looks if you zoom in on the micro. It looks like an uptrend. Okay, they don't care that it's a little minor uptrend in a manipulation move on a very micro at the zone. They don't care about any of that stuff. They just care that, oh, it's an uptrend, we have to buy. Automatically, they're programmed that way through their textbooks to do this. Okay, and the BFIs understand this, and they just play to your emotions, but you guys let them do it. You know, you follow the wrong people, so obviously you're gonna let them do that to you. Obviously you're gonna be buying up here thinking, you know, it's going to infinity. Obviously you're gonna be selling down here thinking it's going to infinity. I mean, thinking it's going to zero, sorry. Yeah, retail, they only think in zero or infinity. They don't know anything else. That's what happens when you think emotionally. But they see a little uptrend in the box and they buy it. And guess who's selling it to you? You already know. And they see what looks like a collapse, so they sell it. And guess who's buying it from you? Your buddies. This is all goes back to BFIs. We're not going to get into brokers, but let's make sure you guys understand what happens here. Okay, let's say they want the price to go down. Okay, they will always push the market up to get a better deal. They run the game. This is what they do. Let's say they want price to go up. They're always going to push the price very cheaply so they can buy. And then that market will be pushed up. Okay? ABC's basics. We haven't really got into deep into anything. This is just a very basic understanding of actually what goes on. Now, let me just read these, see what you guys are saying, and we're going to talk about brokers. Let me just wipe them out real quick. All right. Now, if you haven't figured this one out, brokers, they make you broker. That's their job. Okay? Let me tell you something about brokers before we move on to the next thing. Brokers have two books, and I said this before, this is the second time, and I won't say it again. They have two books, an A book and a B book, okay? It's just two different sections. VIP and losers, okay? If you want to look at it like that. There's winners, people who consistently make money. You know, at the end of the month or whatever it is, at the end of the week, they're always up. They route their order to the live market. Whatever happens, happens to them, okay? But then there's another section for a bunch of losers who the broker just does the opposite of what you do. I mean, if you're always losing, wouldn't it make sense if I just did the opposite of you? I'd actually be a winner. 90% of the time, retail gets wiped out. So if you did the opposite of them, 90% of the time, you'd be looking pretty good, okay? And most of the volume is transacted by these huge BFIs. If you just, you know, humble yourself down and actually decide to study what they do, then you'd be right the majority of the time, okay? But this is these things about brokers, and their job is just to make you broker. I use them, we all use them. Of course, I use multiple, okay, in very different places, but their job essentially is to make you broker. Now, they know that most of you are going to get wiped out. They absolutely know it, for a fact. The numbers don't lie, okay? So they're great marketers. I'll give it to you how it is, guys. Like I said, this is the last one and I'm out of here. They're great marketers. You're going to always find them as great marketers, and they always need, why do they market? It's not just some random accident. It's actually they need that fresh and steady supply of those new accounts, because all those old accounts, they get wiped out and they die off. They always need a steady new stream of supply of accounts coming in, okay? Because the majority lose. You got to keep refreshing these. You always got to keep pulling people into these accounts, and you know, you'd see most of them having agreements with these gurus to promote them, to promote each other, and that's what you got to know about brokers. They're there to make you broker. Signals, let me wipe these kids out real quick, okay? I got nothing against them. It's a great business model, actually. If if you want to get to the business side of it. I'm all about business and real estate and currencies, if you guys don't know. But signals, I wrote a great business model, okay? Obviously for the signal providers. Now, actually Mentorship, which I actually just tried out for a week, and that's actually closed. But that's actually the worst business model, okay? Because you have to keep giving time, and you know, I was just responding to a single question for literally 1 hour just to answer a single question. But I know that it'll solidify some other understandings and prevent some future questions, because you know the foundation now is now has better building. Okay, but it's a great business model. You got to understand this thing if you really want to understand how it all works together in this game. Let's just say it's 100 a month at 100 users. That's 10K a month. And if the signals, you know, they're priced at 100 a month with 1,000 users, that's 100,000 a month. Now, what kind of time does that take? That actually takes the typing of 3 things: an entry, a target, and a stop. And I send it to with a click of a button. I wouldn't say too much time. So for these kind of numbers, now you can imagine if it's 2, 3, 500, and the thousands of users, that could add up to many millions a year. So it's a great business model. But you know, do they give a shit what you do with the signals? They really don't. I mean, business is business. I get it. But me personally, I would never do that. But it's just a great business model. All right. I just did a little mentorship, and that's over with. And let the people who came in, who actually decided, who took that decision, let the results speak for themselves. We're not going to get into that, okay? But like I said, this is on for 24 hours. Nobody contact me about anything. This is going to disappear too. Let's just keep it that way, okay? Another thing about these signals is essentially, you're just betting on someone else's opinion. You can do that. I really don't care. I truly don't care. You know, but you just got to understand, you're putting your money on someone else's opinion, what they think of what's going on at the base, or what they think about this price. This whole price is just about these 4 movements that I said, and then just some manipulation at the base, okay? But if you can position yourself for all this, then you know, you don't have to ask someone else what the hell's going on here, or at the base, or at the box that we talked about. But you know, you'd have to do a lot of study yourself, okay? But that's what you're doing if you're fine with it. But obviously, the true route for a true trader, and we're all traders, remember, is to learn those rules. I gave you a little of them here, okay? Gave you some basics of a lot of things. And obviously everything's in the price, which we'll get into, so you can catch your own fish, okay? I know a lot of people who don't want to catch their own fish. That's fine. That's fine, okay? Signals the whole entire industry. I'll sum it up in a quote. If you give the matches to someone else, don't blame them if the house burns down. This is the whole summary of signals, okay? But you guys can obviously do what you want. Let's get these guys for a little. Okay, these trend lines, indicators, moving. Listen, we all use them, okay? You just got to understand them. Now, did anything I say have anything to do with these things that I'm talking about? Okay, do these BFIs care where your trend line is? Does the market care? Does it matter where it is? Does it matter that you keep adjusting it? Does it matter that, okay, candles, bodies, wicks, okay, does all that shit matter to the market? It absolutely does not. How about the indicators who just take price action and they do a little mathematical equation and turn it into a visual? This is all these indicators. And they just tell you kind of what price is saying, okay? Because you can't read it. You need a crutch. You know, that's fine, okay? You can use them. I really don't care. I'm giving you the reality of it. You don't need any of that stuff, okay? It's not required, especially if it's lagging, okay? Do you want to be lagging in this market, or you want to have your brain thinking ahead? Oh, that's up to you, you know. Everything I said, you know, it sucks, but you're not going to find it in a book or a course or with a guru, okay? Because honestly, most of them are idiots. I really couldn't care less about any of their opinions. The level of ignorance, you know, with most of them is absolutely it's pretty surprising. It's pretty ugly on this social media. It's very ugly, and I mean, this is just the wrong place for this kind of stuff. Okay, but you guys can have the attention, the publicity, and the yellow cars and all that stuff. That's fine, but we definitely won't be a part of it. Now this, I gotta touch on the 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 crew. All right. This 1 to 1, 1 to 2, and here's another thing. You can do that. That's fine. But if you're proud of it, if you're proud of that, and you break it down for people and make it seem like it's really like financially intelligent, and it's a very like you're very skilled. I'm sorry to break it to you, okay, but you're not. Okay, I don't think anybody with that kind of thing is skilled, okay, because you're just constantly exposing yourself to the market, and when you do expose yourself to the market, you give it $1, it gives you $1 back. That's all you get, okay. When I expose equity, I got to get paid accordingly, okay. I got to get paid well for taking on that risk of that equity being exposed, okay. You don't give me $1, I give you $1 back. I'm sorry, that's not how it works here, okay. Maybe that works for you guys, but that's just a low skill, low financial intelligence. You're just, in terms of trading, if this is all you can get out of it, then you simply have very low skills, okay. Maybe because you never heard of any of this stuff. Now let's get down to business. Everything that I said, it's all useless. Okay, let's touch on risk management and psychology. You never group these two things or say these two words separately. They're interconnected, they're fused together, okay? Notice most of you, these little ABC courses, they got a little section on risk, maybe a little section psychology, but whatever they have, it's all pretty much full of garbage. But if you don't really respect these two concepts, then pretty much everything we talked about is useless. In fact, you might actually make money, and then you might not know how to make the same money or more like you did before. Almost as if you got lucky and you just can't repeat it again. Okay, psychology here. You take the perfect deal you get. You get the best deal on the planet. Okay? But you just somehow find a way to fuck it all up. Psychology, buddy. Okay? It all goes back to it. It truly doesn't matter. Most people only worry about their entry. Okay? It's really embarrassing. They're not even looking for good deals, bad deals, a consolidation zone or something, or some let's see what the big boys are doing. None of that stuff. All they're worried about is entry. Okay, these are the people who it's going to be tougher on them. Okay, because they can't see the bigger picture, which is what I talked about today. I'm talking. This is all just the bigger picture. This is nothing. This is nothing deep or detailed. This is very much basic standard operating procedure of the game. But unfortunately, you won't see all that stuff in textbooks, okay? But you can't underestimate this risk management and psychology. And most of you, your problem is from this. This is just the reality. Most of you, you know how to analyze, you know how to do all the other garbage that's pretty much useless. But a lot of you just have the frame of mind that you have, or the way that you see everything, your approach to it all is just really messed up, okay? And I know that for a fact based on what I see on these pages here. But you're better off focusing on this, not on entries, not on all that other garbage. Okay, you can, first, if your psychology is off, like I said, you're going to have the best trade ever, you're going to find a way to fuck it up. Now, there's a lot of fear and greed in this game, okay? Here's just a few of them. Okay, here's now fear, what really gets most people. It's here's just a few of them. You know, they're scared to lose a little money, okay, or even a lot of money. They're just scared of any type of money loss. They don't care what it is, okay, but they're just scared to lose money. Even though this business has expenses just like any other business. Something, I mean, they're not going to understand this stuff on an Instagram app. But this business has expenses. You know, and you can consider them your expenses, or you can consider them, you know, I'm losing and I'm wrong and I'm stupid. You know, but this all goes back to your psychology. You could be scared of being wrong, okay? Now, here's the thing. There's no such thing as being wrong in the markets, okay? Unless you actually make a claim on what's right, okay? So if you say that I'm sure this is going to happen, then yeah, you can be wrong. Definitely you could be wrong. It's going to be painful when you're wrong. But there's really no such thing if you never say if what's going to happen or what's right or what's wrong. Okay, you just react and you don't try to predict, and you try to understand what the big boys are doing, and you're just trying to tag along. Okay, maybe you're scared of a retracement. I see a lot of people. Man, this one is tough, because all they see is their profits getting wiped out, and that reminds them of all the other times their profits got wiped out, and it reminds them of all the stuff they could have bought with that retracement that wiped out some of their profits. This is really, I'm telling you guys, all this is useless if your psychology is off. It's truly useless. It's actually going to annoy you even more, because it's always going to be right there in front of you to grab, but you can never grab it. Okay? Scared of the market takes back your profits. Scared of just any kind of retracement, any kind of tick against you. Okay? That is a very bad psychology. You got some major issues. Anybody the few who decided to go into the mentorship, you know, we're going to go super, super deep into all of this. I mean, psychology is a whole nother story. They already know what's going on. I mean, they already know, because I've seen results from people all around the world sending me things that from countries I never even heard of or knew existed, sending me things that, you know, of how this thing, this is exactly how it all works out. Oh, okay. You know, like it's new. But this is why I'm doing this thing. Now, with this whole fear and this whole greed and all this stuff that I've just talked about, don't expect yourself to think clearly and make accurate decisions if you have any of this. You got to be out of your mind if you think you could do it. Okay, if you have all these, if you're scared to lose money, be wrong, scared of all these things, you think you're going to think clearly and make accurate decisions, smarter and more accurate than your BFI buddies? You got to take this thing seriously, okay? You need to be in mental tip-top shape, and you got to understand, you know, I'm telling you, it's the psychology that's going to make you your money. It's the psychology. It's not your analysis or your indicator or all that other garbage. It's your psychology that's going to make you your bucks, okay? You can accept that here today, May 8th, 2020. Or, you know, you could figure that out, you know, 5, 10, 20 years from now. It really doesn't make a difference to me, okay? But it's your psychology that's going to make you the big buck. A lot of people on this Instagram app, I don't even want to consider they even have a psychology. I think they're just empty. They have no brain, okay? But you need to develop your psychology and make it an elite one. An elite one with a complete detachment to all these fears. Losing money, all that shit is just numbers. The market doesn't care how big your account is. The market doesn't care how much equity, or it really doesn't, how many zeros you have. If you have a big account or a small account, the market doesn't care. Okay, so it's the psychology that's really going to be the only difference when the zeros add up. Okay, and if you're crazy enough, why are you tagging this guy? Why are you tagging Mr. 176? I won't get into that. They study the market. This is how you end it with these kids. So then maybe they show a little respect, you know, maybe they learn a little. That's the whole point of all this. Maybe they learn a little so they can respect a little. Okay? But this whole study of the market, you're just studying risk. Okay, and anytime you study risk of anything, it's all subjective. You're studying yourself, okay? It all gets back down to studying yourself, and that's kind of what we're going to go deep into with anyone who, with these few students who came in. We're going to go very deep into this psychology, but obviously into all the ways that all these institutions work, and you know, reading that volume and just being able to consistently extract what we need out of this game, because we understand it and we know it's a rigged game. If it wasn't a rigged game, 90% wouldn't lose, okay? But it's 90. It's not 10, 50, 40. It's 90%. So I'll be pretty much positive that it's rigged, okay? And I wouldn't say it's a level playing field. You got to be out of your mind to think that. It's absolutely not. But maybe you guys can get a little glimpse on how to really approach this. Okay. You're damn right, I dropped a lot, man, but I don't know how long we have. But I'll do one thing. Just to make a point here. Let's see if you guys even learned anything. But who can say what that kind of pattern is right there? See if anything got absorbed in these brains. We got a little up here. Looks like a box. It looks like a down. What is that? Obviously a reversal. The only two kinds of reversals, okay? Down, box up, or up, box down. You can think of it, call it whatever you like, it doesn't matter. But we have a box here. Isn't that kind of interesting what's going on over here? Isn't that kind of interesting? Everything that dropped here, pretty much non-existent, and a lot of the action over here at this red line stacking up in the box. What happens if they want to push the price down? Don't they got to push it up? Isn't that kind of what we see to the edge of the box, where we had a lot of orders and we got a better price to sell at? And wouldn't we want to be selling at a high price? Aren't we smart? Well, hopefully become one of them, but or are we going to be the retail buyers over here somewhere? Okay. And guess who's dumping it all to them? To the retail kids. Because they see an uptrend like we covered. Well, watch this video multiple times. Time frame, it doesn't matter. You guys really won't get it. It really doesn't matter. Okay, 1 minute. You there? You happy now? 1 minute. Okay, monthly, 1 month. There, you happy now? It's all the same, buddy. You guys are, hopefully you get this, you know, whoever does. Whoever doesn't, that's nature, just like I said. But we're going to get into that with whoever, the few students I have. We go very deep into all of this, you know, but all this really is useless. It's the psychology that what's really is going to make you the real money. And, you know, this is just basics, ABCs. So you guys' job is to verify all this. I'm not here to verify it for you. I just give it to you. You guys do whatever you want with it. This is literally just a few ABCs that we haven't really touched on much, you know, but this is Instagram. And like I said, this will be saved for 24 hours. And you know, Mr. Timeframes don't matter. Okay, no more students, obviously. Like I said, you know, I'd be better off doing a signal because that's where the big money is, you know, but I don't swing that way. Okay, I'm just gonna mentor a few, and like I said, let the results talk for themselves, and that's the only thing that's gonna talk. Okay, because this account won't be talking anymore, and in 24 hours none of this is gonna exist. Okay, but let the results speak for themselves. Okay, so I'll tell you good luck to you, but I really don't believe in that stuff. Okay, essentially good luck is just what they call luck is just preparation. Or maybe you get an opportunity like this little 60-minute video here, and maybe you mix that up with a little decisiveness. Maybe then you get a lot of good luck magically, right? I try to make it so easy that even an Instagram guru would understand. That's how simple I'm trying to make it. Don't confuse that with ease. Okay, obviously it has to be learned and applied. Okay, you don't have to use it. I really don't care, truly, whether or not you use it. Okay, but this is how the game works. Go over this video again, and you know, take that red pill. But anybody who's a student, and remember, there are few and they're in the single digits, as I always promised, and they'll never be over anything other than single digits, because you guys want thousands of people, thousands and thousands of followers. Okay, all a bunch of no results. Like I started this thing with, focus on the few. Okay, the majority usually fail. You're better off doing the opposite of the majority. Okay, you're better off learning how these BFIs operate and learning how retail operates so you can do the opposite. And then you may have a chance. All right? Hopefully you guys benefit, and it's time to end this. Maybe I can answer a few questions real quick. Yeah, you're better off having no use for this Instagram. Look, labor under correct knowledge. Agreed. Did you put in the second to see continuation? Good question. No, I put in the second to show you that the move has very little volume, even though the candle is probably taller than most of you kids. Okay, look how big that candle is. There's nothing in it. How could something like that be created? By heavy order stacking in the previous candle or the box before that candle. Okay? When I tell you guys to study this box, this isn't a joke. This is where it all happens, the manipulation and everything. It's always gonna go up to the top of the box before it collapses. That's just how the banks work. They always need to get in at a very good price. They always need to sell high, and they have the power to push it higher if they need it to get higher. So they had to sell all this garbage. Let's assume it's garbage. They had to get the price up so they can sell it for a higher price before they sell all of it. All right? Guys, don't compare me with anybody, but if anybody, you know, kind of in this trading game, people help you out, and they give you, but most of the people here, they don't give you shit. Okay, you're getting brainwashed here. But if you have the right people, sometimes they give you bits and pieces of the puzzle, and over the years you go about and you try to put it all together. Okay, but if you want really the matrix of all this, okay, it's about everything that I just said in the 60 minutes. Where would you put the stop loss, man? Who cares about that stuff? Do you even just listen to everything that I said? Do you understand that first? Where do you put your stop loss, man? Is that really what you're worried about? Order flow within the base before the drop. Institutional orders are highest there. Congratulations. Don't ask me all these silly questions. This would have never happened without this quarantine thing. Okay. I wouldn't have time to even put all this together for some random people that I never met. And probably most likely will never see, because like I said, 24 hours after this, everything is gone. Post everything. Things like this isn't out there forever. Good deals, great deals aren't always out there all the time for free, especially for free. Okay, same thing with the markets. Price is pushed up to a price with a great deal. It's not always going to stay there. I really don't care what anybody else is doing. You guys probably don't understand that. I don't really care what any of your guru buddies are doing or what they think. That's actually the least of my concern, But maybe they can get some ABCs from this one. There should be a lot of perspectives being changed, and this is some heavy stuff that I got into. But this is literally, an intro of an intro. But it could help out a lot of you. Maybe just a little intro could clear up a lot in this whole trading thing. Are you living off trading completely? Trading mainly real estate, which is essentially a business. Okay. But yeah, trust me, I don't need to sell signals. Like I said, it's a great business model, guys, but I don't need to live off subscription fees and all that other garbage. Okay. But there are a few that I have to give them my time now. Okay. And that's all I have for you guys, all right? Apply it and make use of it. All right? No messages, no contacts, nothing. Okay, just watch it again and absorb what you can.
fucking Brad, tell me to pull. You always tell me to pull. We're down fucking $4 grand now. Oh, fucking Brad.